Welcome. Stick around if you want to learn about the art and philosophy of beautiful movement mixed with evidence-based exercise science. We'll be having tough and inspiring conversations with other coaches, experts, artists, and athletes. Our goal is to challenge myths, explore concepts, and engage in healthy debate as we dive deep with intrigue and curiosity. I'm your host, Hannah Deutscher. I've been teaching dance, Pilates, and yoga for over 2 decades. And what I've learned is that movement can be the joy that integrates us all together. When we can trust and express ourselves through our bodies, we are unlimited in our ability to change ourselves and our communities for the better. We, as movement teachers and coaches, have the power to help people experience this for themselves. Okay, everyone, let's dive in. Exchanging ideas and changing people's lives one session at a time. This is the Pilates Exchange. Hey friends, welcome back to the Pilates Exchange. I'm your host, Hannah Deutscher, and today we're talking about something that every coach, every client, and honestly, every human has dealt with at some point. That moment when progress just stalls. So, title of this episode, The Art of Progress, Supporting Clients When They Feel Stuck. And man, have I been there. You feel like you're showing up, you're doing the reps, you're ticking all the boxes, and nothing's changing. Or worse, everything is going backwards. Oh my God, I hate that. You've seen it in your clients, you've probably felt it in your own body, and guess what? It is totally normal. It is also a golden opportunity for growth for them and for you. So today I'm going to give you some of my best practical tools and some science-backed insights from sports psychology to help you reframe these plateaus and keep moving forward with joy and not judgment. So let's get back into it. First off, how do you know a client is stuck? And the spoiler alert here is, unfortunately, they don't walk in and announce, hey, I'm emotionally flatlining today. They don't say anything, but there's always clues. So here's some. They stop pushing themselves. They seem distracted, or they're emotionally just checked out of your session. Over time, maybe you see them skipping class more often, or maybe they straight up say, I'm not feeling it anymore. And honestly, it might have nothing to do with your class or your training. It could be hormones, stress, a life shift, sleep deprivation, or just plain burnout. But this is your chance to respond. This is your chance to respond with curiosity and not with correction and not with judgment. So if we were to borrow some reframing tools from sports psychology, instead of saying like this client is losing motivation, if we reframe it for us as this client is in a transition and how can I support them through it? And that little mental shift makes you into a coach. That's your job. I find we've had discussions about this, the language. Are you a teacher or an instructor or a coach? And I have said multiple times in this podcast, it depends on what hat your client needs you to wear, right? I think that you should have the skills to be able to help them with all of these things. And in order to do that, we have to reframe. It's now you're the coach. Now you're going to help them. And that has to be with curiosity. So let's talk about the tools when your client or you, like, how do we get past that stuck spot? Something that we're always talking about, and our big theme of May is reconnecting to your whys. And this would be the first step. This is the first thing. We often assume clients want results, and yes, but we forget to ask what results actually mean to them now. Sometimes we think that what they said a year ago or 6 months ago or many, many years ago is the same thing that they want right now. And that could not be the case. Some people are just trying to get through their day. So we need to ask better questions, not just give better cues, right? So we could start with something like, what brought you here in the first place? How about what feels good to you right now? Or has your motivation changed lately? Even just by asking reignites different self-awareness. And sometimes that's motivating in itself. Sometimes it is the discipline that we need to keep on pushing through. But if we can help support them through this, that is gosh, it's so good for you. It's so good for them on so many different levels. Sometimes we're going to have to make their progress a little bit more visible to them, even the tiny, teeny, tiny stuff. So this builds their self-efficacy, that deep belief that I can do this, I can get through this. You could say things like, yeah, you held your side plank for 5 seconds longer today. I mean, that's 5 seconds is 5 seconds, man. That's awesome. Or even if you reminisce, like, remember when you couldn't do this without pain and look at you now? That's incredible. Like sometimes we need to be reminded of where we were and where we are today. That could be huge steps. It could be a huge difference of what we've done. And just because those steps are a little bit smaller now, moving back or thinking back, that might be very powerful. Or even just something like focusing on that tiny stuff of like your focus was on point today, or how you did that exercise was great. We're going to celebrate. If a person is feeling really stuck, we're going to celebrate those micro wins. It's not about all the fireworks. Sometimes it's just the flicker of the flame. That's what's going to get us through. But it's going to take work on your side. We gotta look. We got to call them out when we see it. Celebrate those wins. Sometimes when we're feeling stuck, when they're feeling stuck, sometimes the nervous system just needs a little pattern interrupt. Maybe it's like trying a new prop out, change it up, even if it's just a towel or a yoga block, or it's changing the weights a little bit. Maybe you want to switch the class flow. Switch it up, do something different. Maybe a little baby mini challenge, like let's build up to this exercise by the end of the month. It doesn't have to be come in every day for the next 21 days. Sometimes that's just way too much. If it's just a little exercise that you're working through, a manageable exercise that you're working towards, maybe that's what we need, And yes, all of this, it benefits you as a teacher. Teaching something new reawakens your own brain. And when you're energized, your clients are going to feel it. Barre, for example, right now is my favorite way to reignite my creative teaching. It brings musicality, it brings endurance, just the joy right into the room, and the clients love it. I've taken some of my normal Pilates clients, personal training clients, and if they're stuck, I throw on some music and we're going to do a couple barre exercises together. It changes things up for them. And that's, sometimes just what we need on that day. We're going to work on process goals, not just outcome goals. And this one's a big one in sports psychology, from what I understand. It's not just focusing on the results, we're going to focus on the process. That means instead of saying, let's get stronger, we're going to say, let's aim to show up 2 times a week this month, or once a week this month. Let's work on doing 3 clean repetitions with great form of this exercise. It doesn't have to be 3 sets of 20, I don't know what it is, like a little bit at a time, a little bit, and focus on that process, because process is where the confidence is built. It also takes this unbelievable pressure off of fixing something, and it replaces it with engaging in something, being involved in it. Depending on where your client is stuck in, we might want to practice visualization and pre-movement cues. This I've had help me so much when I was dancing, and is backed by a ton of different neuroscience. Mental rehearsal, right? So if say you're working on something tricky, let's say tendon stretch on the chair, on the stability chair. If you're not familiar with that, just think of a really hard exercise. And your person hasn't gotten it. If you mentally rehearse what it's supposed to be before you do the tricky exercise, and I really want you to I want them to be involved with this. Close your eyes and picture yourself doing this move. Breathe it in. Now let's try it. Sometimes they really need to be imagining it before, because if they can't see it in their mind, they're not going to be able to do it. There's just no way. So make sure that they can see it, and then help them visualize it. And that might unstuck that movement for them. Unstick it, unstuck it. You know what I mean. And this way, it reduces the anxiety of the movement if they're mentally rehearsing it, because if they see that they can do it, it builds that inner trust. especially when clients are scared, when they're scared of failure or they're scared of injury or whatever it is, right? So visually, mentally rehearsing that is going to help them feel safer and feel more confident when they go to do it. We're going to have to coach with a growth mindset. We're always talking about growth mindset on this podcast. So here's your big sister prep talk. Stop praising talent. I want you to start praising effort. Instead of just saying like, oh, you're so good at this. You're just naturally good at this. You're going to say, I can tell you've been so consistent. It really shows. Or your focus is really deepened. I really want you to focus on how we grow. And we know that growth means that we're going to have to fail a few times, right? We have to get it wrong. We got to make mistakes in order to grow into it. And sometimes those plateaus are that area of where we need to get through in order to get to that next step. This is going to build grit, it builds resilience, and it gives them motivation to keep on going even when it's tough. So what do we do when you, teacher, you coach, when you feel stuck? Because let's be real, when clients hit a plateau, it's often that you do too, right? Maybe you're feeling like your classes are repetitive. Maybe you're not inspired by your own movement. Maybe you're tired, like deeply soul tired, like many of us in the world are right now. Yeah, it happens. We're in it. The good news about that is that it's a cue. It is a clue. It's not a crisis. So some things that I do that maybe would help you is try taking a workshop, reading something that excites you, play with a new modality like barre or fascial flow or functional training, something just to shake it up a bit, or give yourself permission to just rest, turn it off, relax, right? Your creative energy is a resource and you need to protect it. That goes for me too, because man, I have been feeling this hard. So I'm going to give myself permission to also protect that creative energy resource. And sometimes for me, I just need to rest and reset. So if you need that pep talk right after this podcast, you're going to turn off and do what you need to do. Like pour your cup first, please. I just wanted to lean into this idea that plateaus aren't failures. It is really part of the learning process. And this is where it's almost like the integration of the knowledge happens. Your job, I believe, as teacher is not to drag your clients through it. It's really to walk beside them. We offer small windows of light and remind them that growth happens in waves. I want you to be the teacher who sees beyond the reps, sees beyond these exercises. I want you to be the coach that celebrates the person for showing up. And most importantly, I want you to extend that same grace to yourself. If this episode landed with you and you're feeling in that same spot, I would love to hear your story. I want to know what's helped you or your clients through a stuck moment. Keep an eye out. Next time, we're going to be talking about more good stuff that's going to hopefully help your teaching. If you have ideas and needs, I want you to tell me what I need to research for you. This is what I love to do, is help you with different ideas. So if there's something that you're feeling stuck on, please send me a message. I am there for you. Until next time, move like it matters, because you do. Happy teaching, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. A great cost-free way of supporting us and the podcast would be to give us a 5-star rating. You can also look down into the show notes and grab any one of the free resources for teachers. I hope to see you next week on the Pilates Exchange. Happy teaching, everyone.